Good afternoon, Tom Ginn. Own your own health. We're going to be right back. Good afternoon, Tom Ginn. Own your own health. Today, I'm really excited to introduce my guest here in a moment. But I like to always open up the before we get into our guest today is a little bit what own your own health is. You know, we live in a culture and a society that we're struggling in our area of health. We won't get into a lot of the statistics and that, but we're in a crisis. And our healthcare system is not a healthcare system; it's a crisis system. Uh, so we want to bring a new level of awareness, and it's called "Own Your Own Health." Being aware that there are different ways to approach health, create a lifestyle, different modalities to address our health concerns. And I'm not discounting anything about our Western medicine. If I break a bone, need surgery, whatever, we have the best in the world when it comes to that. Not downplaying anything about the pharmaceutical industry, because there's a place for that as well. But a lot of our health concerns can be avoided with proper preventive approach to health and being informed, knowing your options so that you can make those decisions that are right for your health. And so that's the foundation of Own Your Own Health, is that we're bringing in people like my guest today, Lisa Harris. A little backstory here. I met Lisa, a couple of years ago in a forum that she co-hosts, and we've made some connections at that time, and just here recently reconnected. And what she's doing and her story is powerful, and how she's taken control of her own health. And so I'm excited to introduce Lisa. Are you ready to come in, Lisa? There she is. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Hello, Tom. I love that intro. I love the music and all that. It's great.
Yeah. It's, this, I'm still, I've been doing this about 2 years. I throw the little toys and gadgets in there, just attention grabbers. But seriously, today our conversation is going to be about you. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure that, anybody that's out here that's going to be watching this on replay is tag and share. Make comments, because as we go through today's presentation, we'll have an opportunity to address your comments, maybe answer questions, those type of things. But tag and share out there, whether this be on the live or the replay. But Lisa, what I like to do is just, what are you grateful for today? I always go here in the beginning anyway, because it goes to one of my other programs. But I think gratitude sets the stage in anything that we do in our life, around our health, our businesses, our personal relationship. What are you grateful for today?
Oh, goodness. That can actually be a difficult question, because there's so many things to be grateful for. Yeah. But today, I would just say, other than just obviously being grateful that, for being healthy, I can walk. I can actually walk, and, be a caregiver to an elderly parent who's about to turn 100 in a few months. I have the time freedom that I've really craved for years. So I'm at a point in my life now where I have the time freedom to concentrate on my growing business from home while looking after my elderly mother, who is an Alzheimer's patient. Wow. So I can by staying home, I can give a lot more attention to my mom
Okay.
than before.
Yeah, we have a lot to be grateful for, especially when we recognize that we're here and we have an opportunity to serve, and that's what you're doing. I love what I heard from you, is that you got a heart of a servant. You know, you have a purpose in life. So I always like to just sort of, our dialogue today is about you, Lisa Harris. I like that. You know, I believe stories have more impact than facts and figures and those type of things. What's your why? Your story of where, a little bit about where you're from, some of your professional family background, where you are today and where you're going, your story. So I'm just going
Okay,
to turn it
that's
over to
great.
you.
Well, you know what? In all honesty, I really don't like talking a lot about myself. I know there are plenty of people who do, but because I like to focus on learning about other people. But yeah, just to give you a little bit of background on me. So I am from New York, also New Jersey. So I consider both my home. But I was born in New York, raised in New Jersey. Now I'm back in New York. I'm in a suburban neighborhood called Forest Hills, Queens. If anybody's familiar with US Open tennis, well, that's where it all started, here in Forest Hills, and that's what it's known for. Also, a lifelong tennis player. I used to play in the USTA leagues, so I've always been active, and I think that's contributed a lot to my health today. Um, my parents were both medical professionals. My father was a neurologist and an internist who ironically he treated people with multiple sclerosis or MS. And I say that ironically because after he died in 1992, his medical partner diagnosed me with MS in 1996. My mom, whom I mentioned, is 99, soon to be 100, is also a former medical professional, a lab and x ray technician. So I learned a lot from them and how they helped others heal, how they help people, help people be comfortable and, gave them knowledge and tips on how to maintain good health. So I've been really greatly influenced by my parents. I did not go into the medical field. I'm a career entertainment media and marketing professional. I have a degree in mass media and a degree in marketing. So luckily, most of my career has been in that space. Um, in the past few years, though, I've shifted my business focus um, to growing an affiliate marketing business in the health and wellness industry. Um, a lot of that had to do with the pandemic. So I do freelance screen acting and production crewing. And as soon as that COVID lockdown happened in March of 2020 and New York went into a lockdown, all my income from that industry went to zero. Casting directors were clearing my calendar, and I was in panic mode because I have a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And I just lost a big chunk of my income. Um, so I shifted my focus to basically um, helping myself as well as others maintain their, optimum health to ward off COVID and stay healthy both through the pandemic and beyond. And since I'm in the health and wellness industry anyway, um, and because I healed largely from making a couple of simple adjustments in my lifestyle. In 2005, I decided to get tested for allergies and sensitivities across the spectrum, food sensitivities, chemical sensitivities, because it seemed like I was always having some sort of MS flare up. You know, in the early stages, I was having trouble walking. I was using a cane. I was always in a brain fog, and those are common symptoms for multiple sclerosis. So I knew there was something not right about certain foods I was eating. So I got tested for allergies in 2005, and I learned that I had about a dozen different food protein sensitivities. So it's the proteins that affect me. And I also found out that I had some chemical sensitivities, chemicals that you find, common chemicals you would find in your household. And as soon as I figured that out, with the help of allergy specialists, I learned that I had to avoid soy protein. That's one of my most dangerous allergies. Um, Another one is, it's very strange. Things like squash and zucchini, Brussels sprouts. Early in my early stages of MS, every time I ate these foods, I would suddenly have trouble walking. I would trip and fall if I stood up. My cognitive thinking was off. And so I told, my father's partner this, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm very familiar with trigger foods. You're having trigger food problems. Avoid those proteins, you know." So I did. And that's the year I learned to go green in 2005. I said I better just, start reading labels, um, avoiding the chemicals that I learned I was sensitive to, avoiding proteins like soy and corn protein. And as soon as I stopped doing that, I got healthy within a few days. That was 17 and a half years ago. It's now 2022, and I've been disease free for 17 and a half years.
Wow. That's hopeful and encouraging. But the process was that you started you had the test done to see what your sensitivities were, and you started eliminating what different types of proteins and different
Proteins.
things, and avoiding things that showed up. Um,
Learned about hidden ingredients. Just learned about reading labels, which is very important.
yeah, I think that's important. As this is, I think this is part of our message out there, is that our chronic illnesses have risen as processed foods have risen and become predominantly our main source of nutrition. And there's a direct parallel. As processed food, back in the 50s, we had less food, processed food, less chronic illnesses were shown. But as those processed foods increased, we started seeing all different sorts of chronic illnesses start manifesting themselves in direct relationship. And here in America, we take our food as being nutritionists and all this type of thing. But unfortunately, we don't have a good food supply. And if you have issues, you got you got somebody on your phone there, or is that
I'm sorry that it's coming through.
okay?
That's why I muted my audio. Yeah, I can't turn that off. I'm sorry.
Okay. But so it's really important that we're aware, have sensitivity. Your body's telling you something, right? Even
Mhm.
as seriously as MS. I mean, that symptom is pretty significant. But even the onsets of other chronic conditions, they start showing up in very subtle ways. And usually we don't do anything about it because we're not aware what's going on until we get something significant shows up, right? Your blood pressure just skyrockets out and you're getting lightheaded and you're doing all, then we react. But I think we should become students of health. What's some of your advice on the things that you do, not only with we'll get into your green living,
Mhm.
the queen of living
Queen of
green,
living room.
but what are the things you have done since you discovered you have came down with this condition? What are you said you exercise, you were a tennis player. So talk a little bit about your protocol, your lifestyle,
Mhm.
and how that's enhancing your overall health.
Well, first of all, Tom, you were really spot on about listening to what your body is telling you to do or not to do, because it really took years for me to figure out. Well, your body can't speak English, right? I mean, it speaks to you in its own way. And you have to learn. I mean, it's giving you warning signs. I mean, it's basically screaming at you. For instance, every time I ate something with soy protein, um, I would get what I now call the soy flu. I would always feel like I was fighting off the flu. That was my body screaming at me to stop doing that. And it took a while to figure that out. But what I do mainly is, yeah, just stay active. I mean, I've been active my entire life. I do a lot of walking. I'm naturally thin, so thankfully, I don't, I don't have the headache of trying to manage my weight. In fact, I'm I'm trying to gain a few pounds. But yeah, just basically staying active. The other thing is finding out whatever it takes to reduce the stress and anxiety that you may be feeling. Everyone has had some degree of stress or anxiety, and that causes inflammation, and inflammation is what makes us sick.
Right.
So if you just try to find ways to reduce that stress, change whatever it is that's causing the stress, even if it means finding another job or what have you. But I have lifelong sort of social anxiety that I've only in recent years gotten a handle of. Um, and because I've earned that time freedom that I've been working on for years. That's really a big stress reducer. um, yeah, anxiety and stress. So as long as I keep my inflammation down, and of course, supplementing responsibly, I don't over supplement, but I think it's important to know what you may be deficient in, the nutrients you may be deficient in. Just have a good balance of that. Have your blood levels checked every so often. Um, that helps tremendously. Keep your stress levels and your inflammation levels in check.
I'm
So
going to go back to what you said. And this is, we can document it, but, stress comes from all different, there's different types of stress, but we are in a lot of stress. And stress is the number one reason of chronic illnesses. Just because it causes that oxidative stress at the cellular level. And that's the deterioration of how our cells function. And then that's where things start going upside down. And if we can minimize stress in our life, along with proper hydration, good sleeping habits, good nutritional understanding what your body really needs, and there's a lot of ways to determine that. Exercise is so critical. I was on a meeting the other night. I think that some science shows that smokers that exercise are healthier than people that don't smoke and don't exercise.
that's
Think about
interesting.
that. We're not encouraging anybody to go out there and exercise and smoke. But the key thing here is part of our health, being active and moving. And the older we get, we start doing less of that. So exercise is a critical element. Matter of fact, if you just get out in your bare feet and walk the grass in the park, that probably reduce a little bit of stress too, right? But it's
Definitely, yeah.
activity. So
Mhm.
when we look at a holistic, a lot of people think it's some woo-woo stuff. We're talking holistic. What is all the spokes that we need to have in our life to live a quality of life with our health, right? I think that's what we're all seeking. We want to have a quality life that we can get up and as we age, that we can run around with our grandkids. We can go to the park and walk. We can walk downstairs or walk upstairs. So many people that are in their 50s and 60s can't do that. That's not a quality of life.
Mhm.
That could have been prevented in many cases. Would you agree?
Yes, that's a fact. It really is. And also, as you get older, like in the natural aging process, like cholesterol levels can go up a little bit. Your blood pressure can go up a little bit. So that's part of natural aging. I'm not talking about extreme cases, but aerobic exercising, meaning even just 20 minutes a day of just getting your heart going, your cardiovascular system going, quick walking, or maybe a light jog. All of that really helps to lower your cholesterol
Yeah.
and your blood pressure.
It
So,
allows your body to detox. You get your lymphatic
mhm.
system going just by walking. That movement causes a lot of things. Because if we don't have a way to eliminate the toxin in our system through our glutathione and all those type of things, we become sicker
That's right.
and we become sicker. So
And
there's a lot of different ways, but I look at it this way. I think there's basically 6 spokes. Hydration. Most people aren't hydrating
that's
properly.
that's true.
Most people aren't getting good sleep. Most people don't have, we're relying on what the processed food is going to give us nutrition. There's very little nutritional value there. A lot of toxic elements in there that are doing things. So we need to be aware of that and start looking at what alternatives. Talk about Queen of Living Green.
You
Tell me what that is about, because I think that's
know what?
part of your modality that you put in place
Mhm.
that has worked for you, and it probably worked for a lot of other people as well. So
Well, I mean, as an empowered woman, and as an entrepreneur, I think you're familiar with, self-branding, and that's just kind of part of my personal branding. Um, I was a little bit hesitant to kind of put myself out there as the queen of living green because I thought it sounded a little narcissistic, but it was actually a very nice woman based in Frankfurt, Germany, who's a social media and personal branding expert. Her biggest client is actually Viola Davis, the actress whom she helped feel better about her self image. She had very low self esteem, with her looks and her hair. And so she gave me a free half-hour consultation. And I'm like, whatever you have to say, I will listen. I mean, if Viola Davis is your biggest client, I'll listen. So she said, you know what? After hearing my story, she said, I really think that you should call yourself the queen of living green because you're so knowledgeable about green living and because that's how you healed from MS. Um, Try it, see if you like it.
yeah,
So I did, and yeah, it sort of stuck, and it does kind of fit what I'm about. It fits my lifestyle, and also I'm known as self-healed from MS. That does not mean that there's an official cure for MS, but you can stay in remission for decades and never have another flare-up. So, in my opinion, that's kind of a cure, but the medical society does not yet recognize an official cure for MS. But anyway, so that's kind of the story about the Queen of Living Green. Also, as a marketer, my business model is affiliate marketing. Um, and if anybody is familiar with direct sales, there's something called multi-level marketing or MLM. There are different types of that business model. There are subtypes. There are hybrid types. And then there's affiliate marketing, which is a completely different business model, even though there are similarities. There are different types of affiliate marketing, just as there are different types of multi-level marketing. So a few years ago, I switched my business model to affiliate marketing because I found that it was just, I guess a personal fit for what
okay,
I was looking to do. And so in my business, I like manufacturers because I like to know what's in stuff. So I like partnering with trusted manufacturers that I've tried and that I really like. And I do have one focus. A few years ago, I found a really great way to get all types of non-perishable green natural products online at a wholesale price point. And of course, because I'm in the growth phase and I'm on a budget, and so many other people are on a budget, you know, um, I just started shopping green online. And then as soon as the COVID lockdown happened, I said, you know what? I have marketing experience. I think I'd like to take advantage of your affiliate program. And so I did. I mean, I just think that everybody out there, it seems, if they don't already have an affiliate program, they're developing one. I mean, there's been an upward trend, I think, since 2012, 2013.
yeah,
And so again, if you happen to consume certain products or services and you like them, just ask their customer service, do you have an affiliate program? And in most cases, they'll say yes. So that's basically what I did. I found something that I liked, and I liked it so much that I just started kind of spreading the word. And so that's what I'm doing from home right now. Just I'm on a mission really to educate people on the importance of going green for health.
Yeah.
And I'm not a product peddler, or anything like that. I'm not a pushy salesperson. All I like to do is educate people on ways to go green and get healthy without spending a fortune.
Yeah.
And it's been working for the
Excuse me.
past 2.5 years. That's what I've been doing from home.
I'm going to go back to something you said. You said you're hesitant to talk about yourself, and then that, and you talked to somebody that encouraged you to the Queen of Living Green because your purpose and why you want to be able to educate and teach people that there are alternatives. And I'm just going to put this up because I think is from where you're coming from is the only way that we can improve anything in life is under this principle right here. Your voice becomes stronger when you hear other person's voice first. That's a Maslow principle. Do you see me? Do you hear me? Do you care? But if you're approaching the way you do, you're coming from a place and you hear people, you recognize their pain, they're struggling, whether it be economically, whether it be struggling health-wise or whatever, you hear them. Then when you speak, your voice now, because you've recognized their pain, now your voice has more impact, more power. Then people are inclined to listen. And I think that's when we get clear on our why and purpose in life. Me being a personal development coach, people know, we know when we see hype, right? We know when somebody's coming across authentically. And that's what we're responding to. That's why people are going to respond to you is your story, your purpose, your passion, and how you communicate. Now you have a voice that would be stronger because you're coming from that space. So you're really listening to people. But you mentioned something. A lot of people think alternative is more expensive. Well, there's some truth to it, but it's not truth because the results of not taking a proactive place in making the investment in health proactive, and that could be everything from a gym membership, buying some tennis shoes, that could be a new bicycle, that could be doing some research and getting on a good nutritional supplement. That could be a lot of different things. What they have found is it's more expensive to do nothing. It will bankrupt you in 10, 15, 20 years. So this is some analogy when people say, well, it's expensive to go on XYZ product or do this or that. Number one, the first question should be asked, is the situation that you want to avoid, is that what you want in your life? No, I don't want that. Most people have they don't want this quality of life. They don't want to be in a nursing home, no cognitive ability, no way to get around, drooling and have to be taken care of. That isn't what we want in our quality of life. Sometimes that's unavoidable, but most of the time it can be totally avoidable.
The sooner you start, you're right. The sooner you start, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a number that a lot of, I put this out here, is for every dollar you spend in a quality of life modality, and that incorporates joining a gym, your nutrition, maybe buying what do you call it, organic, and all those different things that, going green and getting a better food source. Yeah, you'll pay a little bit more, but here's what the numbers show. For every dollar that you spend, let's say you spend an extra $1,000 this year, you have put off $50,000 in the future in cost, and that's documented. So do that for 10 years, and you're pushing that off. You have basically eliminated $500,000 of future costs of being hospitalized, medical care, all those type of things. And if you haven't got insurance, you're bankrupt, right? So people got to start looking at health, not at what's it cost me. It's going to cost you one way or the other. I'd rather spend $1,000 to save 50 in the future
Mhm.
every year.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and you're speaking in facts.
Yeah.
Um, let me just use my mother for an example. About 35, 40 years ago, she decided to cut out salt, lard. She's from Birmingham, Alabama. That's how they cooked, in the deep south. And she just decided to get rid of all that and start eating a little bit healthier. And I believe that's one reason why she is 99 years old, because she realized that what she was doing was affecting her health. She walked every day, 3 miles a day, until literally about 2.5, 3 years ago, when her mental health started declining. But she's still mobile. She can walk. She's pretty independent. The only thing that I regret that she did not do was take care of her brain health, because Alzheimer's does run in our family. And I believe that if she had been a little more educated about maintaining good brain health, with the right supplements, you know, the right type of lifestyle, I suppose, I think that she would be better off today, as
Sure.
far as cognitively. So and also as an MS patient, cognitive issues are common in MS patients. So I am taking care of my brain health now, because I do not want dementia or Alzheimer's, and I would like to live to the ripe old age of 100 as well.
And genetically, that's there. I mean, though I
Mhm.
look at my mother's side, they have long genetic. People live a long time on that side. On the other
Oh yeah.
side of my family, no, it wasn't so much. But so just I think it's to determine what your quality of life is and what are you willing to invest.
That's
And
right.
because unfortunately, we've been turning our health over to a system that only fixes things. It doesn't teach you how to be healthy.
Yeah.
I'll share this story with you because hopefully this will make sense. A colleague of mine, Dr. Maureen Hayes, and her husband's also a doctor, and they're driving to the hospital in their clinic. And she made a comment when she says, "You know what? We're failing as medical doctors." He says, "What do you mean we're failing?" She was an anesthesiologist. He was a surgeon, and she says, "Just look. If we were making an impact, we'd have less people in the parking lots. We'd be making less hospitals." So she recognizes as a doctor that, yeah, there's a place for Western medicine. You break something, need surgery, great. If you need pharmaceuticals, there's a place for that too. If the healthcare system was doing its job or allowed to do its job, unfortunately, doctors can't do what they really wanted to do when they went to medical school, right? They're controlled by entities that they don't have any power or control over. It
That's
could be
right.
the institutions the doctors work in, the insurance companies, and pharmaceutical. They're dictated what they can and can't do. That wasn't their intention, right? When they went into it, I'm sure with your family, you've probably had those types of conversations.
Yes, my,
But
my father became disillusioned by the business of medicine and what it's really about. Yeah.
yeah, so when
Prevention.
Dr. Maureen Hayes said that, I think when doctors recognize that, maybe they'll wake up and start educating. Because what is a nutrition? They only get 2 to 3 hours of nutritional training in medical school,
Yeah.
if that much, right? So a lot of doctors are waking up because they're frustrated because their intention in their heart was to serve and help people become healthy, but they don't. They're controlled by an outside entity. So where does that onus really lie? Onus comes back to us. Own your own health, and through that process, maybe we'll make an impact on the healthcare, what we call the healthcare system, instead of a crisis
Mhm.
system. That people have become healthier. We'll only need the doctor to fix something if we get in a car wreck or fall and break our arm. And we may need
Mhm.
surgery. And yeah, we may have something that takes something beyond that But let's take control of that, because that was a profound thing that she says. We are failing as doctors.
Yeah.
More and more people are showing up earlier and earlier to see the doctor.
That's right, because we're conditioned to just, taking prescription drugs for everything. Just, oh, pop a pill if you have a headache, or pop a pill for this or that. Um, you can get healthy without all those prescription drugs. And Western medicine really is largely about just putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms without really, integratively, you know,
It's
looking at the
reactive.
person, the individual. Yes.
It's reactive versus
Yeah.
proactive.
Yeah.
It's and those that are into proactive are not working in the system. They go to medical school, they recognize it as, I can take my talent and incorporate going green, or using nutrition as a vehicle to help, or whatever. They can start flexing their passion, so they can help more people. So
And going back to the idea of supplementing responsibly,
yeah,
a lot of people do. Well, I won't say a lot, but I have known people who will pop 50, 60 pills a day, which is, I think it's toxic, to be honest. But you don't need to overdo it with the supplementation. But again, just recognize what your body needs, what you may be deficient in. Um, you can maintain great health by just getting rid of a lot of those prescription drugs and finding things that really work for your particular situation. So there are great supplements out there. I believe that the industry as a whole, I think that the entire market is oversaturated with supplements. you know but there are very good ones out there. You just have to do your research.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's basically my tip on not being so dependent on a lot of prescription drugs.
Yeah. Become owner of your own health.
Yeah.
And if you become, as Dr. Hayes says, she was arrogant and ignorant at the same time. And that's when she made some shifts in what she's doing. I won't get into that. But doctors, sometimes a friend of mine's also a doctor. I says, what does MD stand for? He says medical deity. And that's from a doctor. He says, yeah, we sometimes we think we have all the answers.
Hmm.
And I think that's what we should seek out, is finding those people in that system that we call our healthcare, and find those that are working in our interest, not in some institutional's interest. And when we do that, now we're in control. And we take the advice based on, because we're informed. We're informed.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I have options, and I can pick the options.
Hmm.
And I also found out, as I've become healthier, I'm 72 today. I've been blessed.
You mean it's today your birthday?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll be 73 in April, this next
Oh
April.
my goodness.
But we don't know what health feels like until we maybe say, I went from a lot of red meat and a lot of protein, animal protein, and I've cut that down to probably about 15% of my food intake. And guess what? My body says, hallelujah. I've never felt better. I've increased my different food intakes.
So do you eat a lot of green leafy vegetables, like salads with a lot of?
I'm eating more of them.
Yeah.
I'm moving more.
That's great for cholesterol, by the way.
What's that?
That's great for keeping your cholesterol low. Just nice big green leafy salad with all kinds of things, nuts, fruits, whatever you want to put in there. But yeah.
Yeah, your body tells you. See, a lot of times we do not know what feeling well is until maybe soy is causing it. You take it out and you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Now that your body tells you what you're feeling good or not.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we think that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. And going back to, the idea of going green, basically it just means, just buying anything, any type of product that you buy. in your home, but without a lot of chemicals like bleach and ammonia and sodium lauryl sulfate and a lot of other things. It just means basically removing the toxins from your home, creating a safer indoor living environment, because it's what we inhale that makes us sick. And let's just say, for instance, cleaning, a lot of cleaning products that have toxic chemicals, you might not always smell those chemicals, but they are in the air.
Yeah.
And over time, that's what makes us sick. It's what you inhale. So what I do, as far as educating people on going green, I think that the big first step is just, converting your home to a toxin-free living environment. Get rid of the bleach, the ammonia, all those, you know, toxic chemicals that float in the air. And it affects not only people, but pets, you
Yeah.
know, anyone who's living in that indoor space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So going green is not just eating green foods, but it
right.
means evaluating everything that can provide, say, a cleaning. You want to clean a counter and want to cut the grease. There's natural products, green products
Hmm.
that are non-toxic.
And safe to use around foods,
Yeah.
and then there are other types of, wipes, I guess, that commercial types of wipes that everybody knows, but they stay on that surface even when they dry. And it's not safe to use those wipes around foods like kitchen countertops and all that, because it stays on that surface even after it's long dried, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So,
um, and I don't. I'm not an extremist when it comes to my diet. I mean, I really haven't made any drastic changes in my diet. I mean, all I did was obviously get rid of those allergens. But hey, I'm a chocoholic. I will always be a chocoholic. I need my chocolate fix at least once a day. I do have a sweet tooth. I just eat a lot less sugar than I used to. Also, eating less sugar is great for your cognition, your cognitive health.
yeah.
Um, and I'm not a vegetarian, but I do like to eat a lot of fish and vegetables. So, I mean, I've always just kind of ate healthfully, but you don't have to be an extremist, like I don't have to be a rabbit and only eat lettuce and drink water and that's it. There's you've got to enjoy life, and that means eat well,
Yeah.
live well.
Yeah.
You don't have to
So,
live on salad.
and so we do have those extremes, like you were saying. It's just being aware, knowing what your body needs, take care of it. You know,
But learn to listen to what your body is telling you,
yeah,
because remember, it can't speak your language. It can't speak English or French. It speaks to you in its own way, but you have to learn to recognize what your body is, the signals your body is giving you.
yeah. So what I like to do is, in your business, I know you didn't want to talk specifics or company or products or whatever, and that's totally up to you. But if people want to know more about specifically what you're doing, how you do it, talking about, I'm an entrepreneur, so I really
Of
resonate
course.
with what affiliate marketing is. We're always sharing with everybody we know an experience that we enjoyed, whether it be the movie, the restaurant we went out to, or the play that we saw, or the experience at the park, or whatever. We're always sharing that news with other people, right?
Right. That's right.
Affiliate marketing or network marketing, and there's different models, and we won't
Hmm.
get into that. Is all you're doing is sharing an experience that it's benefited you, and you just want to share it with your friends and family, and all you do is share. Is what they do with it from there is up to them, right?
Exactly. Yes. I just basically, give people information,
Yeah,
and then let them make their own informed decision about, whether something is for them or not. Um, I mean, I'm a connector. I'm a business connector. I'm a collaborator. I'm a referral partner. That is how I've built my home business. I don't share a lot of things publicly. But what I love to do is just, talk one-on-one, just like I'm talking with you. I like to schedule networking calls, video chats, exchange information with other professionals, see who I can introduce you to, how I can help you achieve your goals or fulfill your mission. So that's what I like to do. I'm a networker. Um, and that's basically how I like sharing my information privately. I've also been introduced to a lot of MS patients, which is great. We share knowledge and tips, and but I'm not just looking to connect with other MS patients. I'm really looking to connect with any wellness enthusiast or anyone with a family who just wants to learn about ways to help their family stay healthy. I don't charge for consultations, so you're not losing any money by getting the information. um, but again, I'm a networker. I do like that give and take of exchange of information, see how maybe we can help each other. I have a large referral network. I never have a shortage of people to introduce you to. So the more I learn about a person and what they're looking to do, the more I can help them. So there's always someone I can introduce someone to in their target market. So that's basically how I work my business.
Wonderful. And they can contact you. It's scrolling across the bottom. You got your web page. You got your LinkedIn
Mhm.
information, and I believe you have a YouTube channel as well,
Yes, I
right?
have a growing YouTube channel. So all my contact information is, on my website, or if you go connect with me on LinkedIn, you'll see my contact information there. So it's not hard to reach me. And then I've got my Calendly there on my website. So anyone who's open to, just jumping on a call and exchanging knowledge and ideas. I really love that. I love learning about people. And as an entrepreneur, I really love connecting with other entrepreneurs and just seeing what I can do to help you. Because it's really not about me. And as you know, I'm not extremely comfortable talking about myself. I will say though that my business coach and friend, um, I credit him for encouraging me not to be ashamed of having MS because I've been made to feel that way. And he said, there is nothing to be ashamed of. I think that people will be inspired by, learning how I healed. And maybe that can help them, on their healing journey. So I really credit him for that.
And I think it's important that your story and how you came to find out, your dad worked in that space, and that, like you said, it's ironic that you come down with that condition. Um, but how you found out how to, what were the food triggers, what were the allergy triggers, as
Mhm,
as you said.
mhm,
And I think just that alone should give people hope that have that condition,
mhm,
is
mhm,
be open, explore, look at all the different stories. I know some other people have had, a friend of mine has MS and he's taken a different route and has had a turnaround. So we need to explore all those areas so that we informed can make a decision and just take it from there. Because there's nothing, you got everything to lose by not exploring. That's the best way.
Knowledge is power, believe me. I have learned so much just from networking with people. I mean, I've had conversations with, health coaches, nutritionists, and they give me great tips for MS. I mean, I'm always open to learning more about how to improve your health. So, yeah, knowledge is definitely power.
That sort of leads, it sort of, since our conversation, I'll just share with us some of the other guests we've had, like Dr. Ruby Latham. She was diagnosed with a condition that was a stage 4,
Mm.
and she didn't want to go down the route. She recognized what was being offered her was, oh my God, that's going to be my last resort. She's a researcher. She worked at Sandia Labs, a very smart woman dealing with nuclear stuff, right? Very smart person. So she started researching about her condition, and she went 100% vegan and blew the doctor's mind. She doesn't have that rogue cell condition anymore. Is that going to work with everybody 100% of the time? No. But if it works for somebody here and there or whatever the case, that's a blessing, right? So
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there's no cookie cutter, remedy for everyone.
right.
We're each individuals with our own unique, needs.
Right.
No two MS patients are alike. It's like fingerprints. I mean,
Right.
we have similarities, but no two patients are exactly alike.
All
So
our
you need
all DNA structure and all that comes into play. Lifestyles have come into play, and no two human beings are exactly the same.
Right. So I hope that anyone watching this will be inspired to just learn more about their own system, their own body, and what else did I want to say about that? Yeah, just basically be open-minded. Be open-minded to new ideas.
Yeah. So I've really enjoyed. We stumbled around there for a while trying to get connected, and here we are. I'm glad we haven't. And I'm a connector as well.
Of course you are. Yes, you are.
And so, because I know more about what you're doing, so I'm very clear of when I run across people that would have a need for your space, I know who to send it to because I know you, I like you, and I trust you. Okay.
Likewise, thank you. And you and your wife are doing great things also, with your wellness center.
Yeah.
So.
And everybody in our center has a different modality, a different way with the same passion, same mission is to improve the quality of people's health. Bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. And I do know some people or some of my friends or colleagues will talk about their loved one or friend who's in denial. They've been diagnosed with something and they're in denial and they're not being proactive. They're just basically sulking and, doing nothing. And that's only going to make them more sick. So I always encourage everyone to just be open-minded, because you're going to be doing yourself a big favor instead of just denying, your situation.
Can I interject something here? What you just said there. A lot of people in denial. They're in fear. Most people focus on the fear of dying instead of focus on life. And yeah, we all have a date of death. We just don't know when it is and how it's going to occur.
Yep, an expiration date. We all have an expiration date.
We all do. And start cherishing the moment you have. It then will give you, and this is what science knows as well, when we have a positive disposition, they can track that same patient. If somebody has a negative disposition, working in fear, they can look at the cells and the neurochemistry is going on. The cells are not functioning the way they should be. They're destroying themselves. They're becoming oxidative stress, which is creates the chronic. But the moment that same patient, same condition, shifted their thinking to a positive, looked at the same cells, whole different set of neurochemistry is triggered. The things the body would do to repair and replace the cell. So if nothing else, that anybody's out there, enjoy life, be grateful for what you have. Don't think about sickness. Think about health, because if you think sick, you become sick.
That's right.
So
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, positive thinking. That's another thing I learned. It took a long time. Yeah. As soon as those negative thoughts come into your mind, just push them out.
Yeah.
You have to train your mind to do that. But if you shift your mindset, that's another step in your journey to wellness.
Yeah. And be grateful for this moment. That is the starting point. No matter what's happening in your life, gratitude pushes the negative out, because you cannot occupy a negative and positive thought at the same time. Can't do it. So you have a choice of what you think, and being positive and being purposeful will improve your health. If nothing else, your view of your health anyway. So,
and hopefully that will inspire.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will inspire people to just want to
Well,
live their best
anything
life.
in closing you would like to share with the audience, based on our conversation today and your story.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. I really do appreciate this opportunity. I was a little bit nervous, but you've made me feel very comfortable, and I appreciate that. Um, and again, I'm a networker, I'm a connector. So if you'd like to reach out to me and just jump on a call, let's start a conversation.
I'll endorse that because I know the groups that you're associated with, and there's a wide variety of good quality, uh, properly heart-centered people in the healthcare space with different modalities. So yeah, definitely reach out to Lisa. She'll be able to provide what her gift is and what she can offer you. If what she has to offer doesn't fulfill what you're looking for or need, she knows who to point you off to and have that conversation. So I encourage you to use Lisa as that resource, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Mhm.
So,
Definitely. Thanks again, Tom.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Well, I'm going to put you in the back office, so don't run away real quick. And
Okay.
I know you like chocolate, so you got no. I don't have any chocolate back there for you, but hold tight, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Lisa Harris. Ran across her several years ago or 2 years ago when this whole thing that we have been going through the last several years. And it just sort of, as I've shifted and changed in my direction, purpose in life, and focusing more on health wealth versus pocketbook wealth, because I come from that arena of helping people make money in the money arena. But if we don't have health, we can't accumulate any wealth. And when I say wealth, it's not what goes into the bank account. Wealth is your quality of life, that you can get up in the morning, you can walk around, you can keep up with your grandkids if you're that stage, that you're going to be able to go walk in the park or go hiking, that you're staying full of energy, your cognitive thinking is clear. That's wealth. When you can maintain and hold that, the greatest asset you have is your health. And that's the whole purpose of Own Your Own Health and introducing people like Lisa and other people to come on, just to give you a different perspective. Be open-minded. And so with that all said, we're going to close out today and tag and share. Tag and share. We never know how this message will land, and it may make the difference in somebody's life. Everybody have a great day.